A new one.
Okay, we've got two embargo sections to this for the cameras at the back who are feeding, which means I won't be able to take questions from everyone. I'll get around as many as I can. Most we've got PLP, Sky, but you can still short. Other ones. We need the first couple. Everyone's okay.
Jürgen, first of all, it's just back to Tuesday night really, because you said after the game, because we talked about a 9-0 aggregate score against United, you said, I know it will not last forever, they will strike back. So you see the appointment of Erik ten Hag as the start of that?
Yeah. Probably. Yes. What can I say? That's
In what way though? Why? What is it about him? What do you think the appointment can possibly do? I suppose.
Actually, they know now probably what they want to do in the future. They can now start with whatever they want to do for the next season, for the next years. I don't know how long he signed. That's it.
Firmino, has he recovered? And does he come back into the squad? Any other problems as well from Tuesday night?
Not that I know yet. No other problems. And Bobby getting better and better. It's uncomfortable, painful. So we have to make sure that he can really. It is today, first day on the pitch. So I don't. But it's still 2 days to go. So maybe if then Bobby gives the thumb up, then he will be involved. If not, then we wait another few days. But then I think after that that should be possible.
Obviously a big game for both sides. We know why you need the points. We can see why Everton need the points as well. Your aim obviously is to look after yourselves. If Everton don't manage to stay up, is this a fixture that you would miss?
Yeah.
In Merseyside derby?
Yeah, of course. I think we are all used to two clubs in the city, and that's how it is. And then all around the derbies, it's always. Especially it's now this week is slightly different because we played United in midweek. That makes it. But usually the full week before you play, Everton is all the talks and all the things people are talking about are about the derby. So yes, of course I would.
We need that.
Jürgen, does this take a greater intensity this week because of the relative positions and the stakes? And they're on the line for Everton, obviously avoiding the drop for you. The quadruple's still on, league game. So is there more riding on this than the usual
Maybe yes, but this derby's never lacked intensity. To be honest, and I love intensity in football. I love physicality in football, but just there's a rule book, and just make sure that we all stick to that. Don't go over the top. These kind of things, they make it like in the good old times, let me say like this, and even we suffered from these situations. I just want to have a very intense, very physical and legally aggressive football game, but not more. So because we play games after the derby as well, we should not forget, all of us, and then us. So that's all. But apart from that, it was always very intense, and yes, this one is important for both, but I can't remember when it was not important for us. I can't remember. It was always. I don't know where we would have been without the points against Everton, or we could have been if we would have won last year, which we lost, obviously. That would have been very helpful. Yeah, maybe a little bit more, but always intense.
With that in mind, then, at this particular stage of the season, we often talk about the mental side of the game. How great is your role now, given the number of big games, even by Liverpool standards, that you're going through over of course, part of the periods of the start of the season?
Yeah, we don't think about the other games. It's one game. It's really like this. It's just Everton. And so that's a big one historically and in the situation now as well. So no need to think about anything else, not about the last. Take what you can take from the game. If there's some confidence, some fluidity, whatever. But it's a different game. Again, when we stop here, we do the proper analyze now again and watch Everton obviously a couple of times, but now the proper analyze and make a game plan and either well follow or do even better on the pitch than the coach now wanted, and then let's try to win the game.
Juliet, BBC.
Jürgen, a couple if I may. I know it was an emphatic performance and result on Tuesday, but talking to the players afterwards as well, it just seems to be that they're enjoying it. It's fun for them, this challenge, and it just seems to be a whole smile around the place right now.
Not all the time, but a lot. Yes, it's a situation we didn't expect to be in. We never been in this situation. It's incredibly tough. You know, we play pretty much all the time. But you obviously spoke to him after the game. That was a good moment. In these moments, we all love what we do when you win a game, and you win in such an important game, and you win in the manner we won the game, and all these kind of things. But it's true. We love the situation we're in. That's you cannot plan it, that you are still in and around everything, and well, we know there's nothing we achieved so far yet, or at least not a lot. We won one competition, that's great, but 3 others to go, and then the next one is a very important Premier League game. Yes, the boys are in a good moment. I like to say in this moment we were in a good moment, because we have to prove it, unfortunately, again on Sunday, but so far it was good, and yes, we are looking forward to everything what is coming up.
And it was just a word on Thiago as well, because it was a masterclass again on Tuesday. He came into his own this time last season, I think, if I remember as well. The influence that he just seems to be having at this stage of the season as well.
Yeah, it's great, but I don't like to talk too much about one player, not because the player doesn't deserve it, but always when we do that, then something happened for the player. So I leave this room, and then I hear Thiago feels a little bit here or there. So yeah, it was good. So let's carry on.
Hi Jürgen. A year ago on Sunday, you drew against Newcastle at Anfield, but then you went on to win the 5 games to get Champions League football, and we've seen what you've done this season. Has it surpassed your expectations where you've come from there, from that difficult spell to now, or did you always expect it to turn around and see the best Liverpool again?
I didn't expect us to win Carabao Cup, be in the FA Cup final, semi-final Champions League, and 1 point behind the leader of table. I didn't think about that, to be honest, but I knew we will be better. So what we did last year, what the boys did last year, was really special in such a difficult situation. To get qualified for the Premier League, Champions League was massive. There were a lot of moments before the Newcastle game. So I didn't know that was 1 year ago, but before that game, there were a lot of moments where I thought, that's difficult. We will not make that this year. We had moments where we thought, okay, hopefully we don't have to play Conference League. Yeah, so that's how it is, because it's okay. But then does that start, and then you have to readjust the preseason planning and all these kind of things. That's how it was. We didn't know exactly where we'll go to, and if you make them plans, you have to. And we sit down in this period of the year. You always sit together. You go for the games, but the rest you plan around for the next season. And that I remember these thoughts. And then we won 5 games. The boys won 5 games in a spectacular manner. West Brom, Ali. Had all these kind of things, outstanding, loved each bit of it. But saying that, we knew in the moment when we can bring Ibu and when the other 3 boys are back, yeah, we will be stronger. That's clear. When you are third, and you will be stronger and learn. And you had a bad year, like for different reasons. It's a normal human reaction, that you intensify pretty much all efforts and stuff like this, and that's what we did. But then we had, I think, an absolutely okay first part of the season, but it was not that people were over the moon when you're 14 points behind the leader, and probably other teams, a lot of other teams in between us and then them. But again, what the boys made of that is pretty special so far. But that's it. We knew we will be better, but that we will be in this position, I had no idea about.
I know you say you didn't like talking about individual players, but in that case, they're putting in some very good performances. How exciting is it to work with him, and how much more to come from him as well?
Yeah, it's the same situation, I would tell you. I don't like to talk about it, because it's exactly the same expectation from my side, that I go outside and somebody tells me Naby cannot play. But Naby was fit, and when Naby could get some rhythm, he was always really good. Unfortunately, he could not get as much rhythm as he wished, as we wished in the past. Maybe that's over now. And then the future is bright for him. He's a great player. Wow. It did both. So 3. But when did Naby come here? Oh no, he's Naby here 3-4 years. 3. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The year before, it was Keita and Thiago were the best midfielders in the Bundesliga by distance. So if we took first Keita and Naby and then a bit later Thiago, so it was obviously a good idea.
Carl Markham, if there's any more for the opening, if not, we'll go to the divided after Carl, who's at the back. Yes, Carl, we can see you.
Hi, I'm not sure you. Hi, Jürgen. Sorry, it is another Thiago question, but apologies. It's only just over a year ago that some people were questioning his suitability in the team, and I know there were specific reasons for that because of the injuries and all the changes you made. But I'm just wondering, is he almost a better player now, having gone through that and what he's producing now, than when he first arrived? Is that possible?
Yeah, but people were questioning if he suits our football or what was it.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about how he seemed to slow the play down. There's a lot of talk around him slowing the play down, and that was the question that was being raised about him.
And thank God these people don't make decisions. So really, it's like if a player is calming a game down in moments, that's due to a lot of reasons. One of them is just to have a look, whatever. But it's of course nothing we thought was obviously so. More important, Thiago wanted to join us, and he knew how we play. It's not that he's a real football person, he thinks a lot about football, and he knew how we play, and he knew he will fit in, and we knew it as well. So it's all about, in this case, it's always about being fit, staying fit, and getting used to the slight differences to the former club, whatever these kind of things are in different teams, but and then you can go from there. So it was always clear. But Thiago was only one problem: he was injured. He was injured, and it started with an Everton game, to be honest. So that's how it is, and that didn't help. And that was never a question about if he will suit or we only signed him because we knew he will help us.
Thank you. Thanks, Carl. I think that's it for the open.
Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Leicester City tomorrow, and we'll start off with Io from Sky, please.
Hi.
You're right. Going into the Leicester game, come off the back of a fantastic result against United. What's the mood like in camp now?
The mood's good. It was a fantastic result against Man United, and one with, I think, a lot of good things from us, but also some things we can improve on. I don't think it was our best home performance against Manchester United, so I think those are good things for us to analyse. But in terms of 3 points and focusing on what's ahead, the mood's confident, and the lads are working very well.
Fabian Delph was in midfield alongside Alan, and he looked really solid. You must have been really impressed with his return to the team.
Yeah, hugely, really pleased. I think. Well, I haven't had Fabian since I've been here through his injury. We've had so many injuries, which has been one of the issues of trying to get some consistency and at the same time, I think experience and quality is what he brought to the team, and that's pretty priceless. So really pleased with how he went, and now can we try and keep him fit for this run in the games.
And Jürgen is back in training this week. Will he feature against Leicester tomorrow? And have you got any other injury concerns or worries ahead of the game?
No, Yeri will feature. He's in the squad, so it's just making sure that he's fit enough, and also analysing the games we've got left. We have a game also in 4 days' time after this, a huge game for us. So it's managing that in Yeri because he's been out for a while, but great to have him back in. He's a big personality in the dressing room. He's a big player for us. So we're pleased to have him, and other than that, we're where we were in terms of injuries.
And sorry, I had a mind blank.
That's because you've got past the mic,
I just realised I didn't have the mic on me. Looking ahead to the games you've got, you just mentioned it there. You've got tough games after Leicester, Liverpool, and Chelsea coming up. How are you approaching those games?
With a huge amount of focus and understanding that they're great opposition. Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester again. It's a tough run of games, but at the same time, I think at this stage of the season, it's very easy to overanalyse the opposition in those terms. We must focus on ourselves. We must go game by game. with us at home at Goodison, we'd like to try and continue the good form that we've had there and good results. So yeah, just tackle it head on. I'm probably in the best position I've been in terms of being able to select from a squad that we've got injured players back fit. So let's try and hope that we can keep that through the season.
And these home games, how important are they to kind of, set a benchmark for the rest of the season?
Well, they're important because our away form hasn't been what we want through this season. So since I've been here, our home form's been good. We must try and continue that. We always get a helping hand from our fans who are such a huge support to us at Goodison. So with the game in hand, with the game in front of us tomorrow, it's important that we tap into that, give the crowd something to get behind, and continue with the level of performance.
And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a huge player for you. He struggled with goals recently. How important will it be that he gets form in the run-in now, between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, important for us because individually he's a big player and he's obviously had injuries this season which have made it difficult for him. But the important thing at the moment is the team. And in forward areas we have options and we want to get those options firing. We've got some good performances at the front end of the pitch. Do we want more goals? Yes. But collectively, it's in the position we're in now, it's about the team as a whole and everybody pushing and striving to help in the situation.
That's great. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Go to Richard, please.
When you look back at the Manchester United game, Frank, what was the most pleasing thing for you? Was it the clean sheet? Was it the ability to close the game out? Or was it purely and simply getting the 3 points?
All three of those. It's the position you're in, those things are the basics. I think the clean sheet, because of the level of individuals in Manchester United's team. I think at the top end of the pitch, seeing the game out, yes, because that's game management and crucial at this time of the year, and 3 points are obviously crucial to us. But when I say that I didn't think it was our best performance, I probably feel like there were opportunities against Manchester United. Even though they have some top individuals, I think opportunities for us and how we approached the game, the pre-game talk I had with the players, there were certain things that we could have done better. But it's at this stage of the season, results are obviously key. So we can park those bits in a general sense, but behind the closed doors, it's important that we work on every aspect of our game to keep trying to improve.
Has there been a noticeable lift around the place over the last 10 days? Because you can talk about your faith and confidence in the players, but there's no substitute for tangible results, is there?
No, there's no substitute for that, but there's generally been a very, very positive play since I've been here, and I say that with real honesty because sometimes the feeling outside isn't so positive and off the back of results, and I understand that. But as much as you get tested with that, sometimes it can have an effect on the atmosphere. It hasn't so much. We've always bounced back in terms of train next game. And it'll be more important than anything to have that mentality for the next 8 games. We don't need to win 8 games to stay in this league. We need to get a certain amount of points and we need to stay very resilient in that period.
What about Leicester City then? Because they've got their own priorities. They're into semi-final of the Europa Conference League, and they made a number of changes for the Premier League game on the back of their last outing over the weekend. Could that distraction prove to be beneficial for Everton?
I don't think so, because I think their squad's too strong for that. It's a squad that's been built. It's a squad of good players, a squad with a really good coach and staff. So I saw the changes at the weekend, and you analyse the players that didn't start that game, that probably will start our game, then you can see that it's a really strong squad. I don't think it will affect this game, the one in front of us tomorrow.
They're unlikely to have Jamie Vardy fit again, although we hear he might be getting closer for them. For you, that's got to be one less headache to think about, hasn't it?
Yeah, because he's a top-class player. But if he's out, they have replacements that are of a really high level. And as I say, the collective of Leicester is well and truly strong enough to compete with any team in this league and compete very well. I've seen that in the last 2 or 3 years while I've been working in the Premier League and battling with them for Champions League places. Tough battles because they've got good quality. So I'm very aware of that.
And in terms of the position everybody finds themselves in at the bottom end of the table, in recent weeks we've spoken a lot about the mental aspects that you need around Everton right now. How big an opportunity is this to psychologically put pressure on those 3 teams below you?
Well, that's by the by. If it does, it does. What we must focus on is ourselves. So the mental aspect is clearly a huge thing at this time because pressure ramps up. So we need to deal with that. But also the quality levels, we need to play well. And as I said earlier, we have strong players that are back in contention to play that I haven't really been able to work with this since I've been here. So those things together, the quality on the pitch, the mental strength to get through these games, and by focusing purely on ourselves, I can watch the other teams and the staff do, and we do, but at the same time what we can affect is the most important thing.
And just finally, were you able to enjoy an Easter period without the strains and stresses of actually being involved in a football match, or did you find yourself agitated?
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed spending a couple of days with the family without a game and the prep and the things that come into our lives in this job. But at the same time, I'm ready for a game. So I'm ready for tomorrow night to get going again.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. We'll go to Phil Medlicott, the Press Association, please.
Hi Frank, just on the team news front, I wanted to check, can we assume that Donny van der Beek will be back involved tomorrow night after the period he's had out?
Yeah, Donny's back in contention. He was not well for a period, had an injury pre-West Ham, and has had a baby girl last week. So it's nice to have him back in, and nice for him to have his baby girl, and he's back in the squad, yeah.
So those two, Mina and Van der Beek back in, that's the only change from the squad that you had for last night.
Yeah.
The only thing I was going to ask about was obviously since the Man United game, Sean Dyche has been sacked by Burnley, so that's very much sort of in and around the relegation battle. What thoughts do you have on what that might mean for Everton's survival chances, this change that Burnley have decided to make at this point?
Nobody knows. Firstly, Sean Dyche has been an incredible manager of the club. What he's done in the period of time that he's been there, I think that's been quite a universal reaction to it. But the club have decided to make a change, and Sean Dyche, I'm sure, deserves maybe a bit of a rest, and then we'll get a fantastic job because of the level of manager he showed himself to be. So I wish Sean all the best going forward on that. In terms of what happens to Burnley, what it means in this period, nobody knows. You can probably go for history and find good reactions from changes, not so good reactions from changes. Doesn't affect Everton. I saw a quote this week saying that we're let off the hook that it's happened. Don't see how. This doesn't change anything. Burnley are a good team. Burnley are used to fighting to stay in the Premier League, and that fact will remain the same.
Cheers.
Thanks, Phil. Are there any further questions in the room in the open section before we move on to Zoom? No? Okay, we'll go to Carl Woodward, please.
Good reactions from changes, not so good reactions from changes. Doesn't affect Everton. I saw a quote this week saying that we're let off the hook that it's happened. Don't see how. This doesn't change anything.
We've seen managers saying that it's been difficult to get much time on a training pitch due to the hectic schedule. So how beneficial has it been to get time on the training ground with your players?
Yeah, it's been beneficial in terms of that we've had a pretty full fit squad for us. We've still got some big long-term injuries that won't be coming back soon, but good numbers to work, to recovery, for players that are recovering from injury to get fitter, for the collective unit of the team to work on different aspects of our game. I think physically now the players are in a good place. The games will take care of themselves. It's important that we get our preparation into games right, our recovery right now for games, and our focus absolutely spot on. But this period has been good. The players have worked really well. Big long-term injuries that won't be coming back soon, but good numbers to work, to recovery, for players that are recovering from injury to get fitter. No, absolutely not. And I think the next games have got are tough games on paper because two of the 4 games, the next 4 are against two of the top 3, and we know what kind of form they're in. And afterwards, it looks slightly different for us. So we have to stay consistent in our thoughts that there's 8 games to go, and this may go towards the end of the season. That's the reality of it, and we just have to keep working week on week to tackle every game in front of us.
Your last 2 home games have been 1-0 wins, 2 clean sheets. It shows that the side can be tight defensively, so the players just need that belief, can't they, to keep doing it?
Yeah, and belief comes through the work, through an understanding of what got us 2 clean sheets. Of how we need to defend as a unit. We've done it very well. We've done it very well in my time here at Goodison Park. We've defended very well as a unit, and when we defend well, we play well. We have a good chance of winning games.
And we say Jamie Vardy's not playing, but James Maddison is Leicester's leading goal scorer this season, has the most assists for them too. He is a real threat, isn't he?
Yeah, James Maddison's a fantastic player. Great ability levels. Clever, smart player in high areas of the pitch, makes good assists, can finish. Great at dead ball situations. Yeah, a lot of respect for him, and another one. But there are others that can really cause us problems. So we have to be aware of their threats.
Okay, thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. We'll now move on to the embargoed section of the newspapers, please.